The wind howled through the quiet, wealthy neighborhood as a small, homeless girl stood trembling on the marble steps of a grand white mansion. Her thin sweater was no match for the cold night air, and her tiny fingers were red from clutching a crumpled piece of paper with an address scribbled on it. She had walked for hours, asking strangers for directions, ignoring the stares and whispers that followed her torn shoes and dusty hair. This was the last address her mother had ever mentioned before she passed away 3 weeks ago in a crowded hospital ward. "If you're ever alone," her mother had whispered weakly, "go to this house. Someone there once promised to help us." The girl didn't fully understand what that meant, but she understood loneliness, and she understood promises. Gathering every ounce of courage left in her fragile heart, she raised her small hand and knocked on the heavy wooden door. The sound echoed louder than she expected, and for a moment she almost ran away. Seconds later, the door slowly creaked open, revealing a tall, elegant woman wrapped in silk, diamonds glittering at her neck. The woman's sharp eyes scanned the child from head to toe, confusion quickly turning into irritation. "What do you want?" she asked coldly. The little girl swallowed hard. "Ma'am. I'm sorry. I don't have anywhere to go. My mom said someone here knew us." The woman's expression stiffened. She had lived alone in this mansion ever since her husband died years ago. No children. No relatives nearby. No connections to anyone poor or forgotten. "You must be mistaken," she replied, ready to close the door. But then the girl unfolded the crumpled paper and handed it over. The woman glanced at it casually, until she saw the name written at the bottom. Her hand began to shake. It was her late husband's handwriting. The same distinctive signature she had seen on countless business contracts. The same name she had tried to erase from her heart after discovering his secret past. "Where did you get this?" she demanded, her voice suddenly trembling. The girl looked down. "My mom kept it hidden. She said my dad used to live here, before he left." The world seemed to stop. The rich woman felt the air leave her lungs. Her husband had died believing he had no other family. At least, that was what she had told herself. Years ago, before their marriage, he had disappeared for several months. When he returned, he never spoke of where he had been. She had chosen not to ask. Now, standing before her, was a living reminder of questions she had buried deep inside her heart. The little girl's blue eyes looked hauntingly familiar. The curve of her smile, even through fear, mirrored a face from framed photographs inside the mansion. The woman stepped back slowly, her heels clicking against marble floors as memories flooded her mind. "What was your mother's name?" she whispered. When the girl answered, the name hit her like thunder. It was the woman who had once worked as a housekeeper in this very mansion years ago, quiet, kind, and suddenly gone without explanation. The rich woman remembered firing her after a mysterious argument with her husband. She had assumed betrayal. She had assumed lies. But now, the truth stood barefoot on her doorstep. Tears formed in the wealthy woman's eyes for the first time in years. The anger she had carried toward her husband began to crumble, replaced by guilt. This child had done nothing wrong. She had lost her mother. She had lost her home. And she had walked into a world that judged her before hearing her story. Without another word, the rich woman stepped aside and opened the door wider. "Come inside," she said softly. The little girl hesitated, unsure if this was real. "You're not alone anymore." As the child stepped into the warmth of the mansion, something shifted inside the woman's heart. Wealth had filled her house, but it had never filled the silence. That night, she learned that the address wasn't just a location, it was a promise left unfinished. And sometimes, the past doesn't return to destroy you, it returns to heal you. The next morning, lawyers would confirm what her heart already knew: the girl was indeed her husband's daughter. But instead of anger, she felt something unexpected: purpose. She decided to give the child not just shelter, but a future. Because sometimes the knock you least expect is the one that changes everything. And if this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more powerful, emotional stories that remind us that kindness can rewrite even the most painful past.